Okay, folks, we're going to get started tonight. I want to welcome all of you. We may have some last minute people show up. Just a reminder, there's a Q&A box in the bottom of your screen. You can ask questions anonymously. For those that have joined us, you are attending Aspen Dental's Ask Me Anything with Dr. Ari Choi, and this is the Tufts edition. So we have invited 2022s and 2021s at Tufts. And we hope you guys enjoy the content. We're going to talk to Dr. Choi about, her last years at dental school, how she made the decision to come to Aspen, and where she is now, and that decision-making process, which took her to Texas, and some new developments in her career today. She had a busy day. I got a text from her about 45 minutes ago to say, I'm still at the office and I might have to take this from my car. So there she is in her car. So welcome, Dr. Choi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Maggie.
Really glad you can make it. Let's talk about, you were very instrumental in ASDA while you were at Tufts, and how did you come in contact initially with Aspen Dental?
So I first came in contact with Aspen as a first year. I was the elected class ASDA representative. So I got invited to a very elite dinner with all the ASDA District 1 leaders. So it was Harvard, BU. They invited UNE and UConn, but because of the geographic location, none of them made it to the dinner because it was in Boston. And so we had like a nice intimate dinner. Jeff Winchell was there, and Molly Horsington, now she's married. And that's when I got exposed to Aspen. And at that point, I was really dead set on doing a GPR. I was like, look, dental school, 2 years is not enough for me to be clinically prepared. Also, the size of our class, we have over 200 people. I was like, you don't get that one-on-one time as like smaller class sizes. So I was very, very worried. But after being exposed to Aspen my first year and I found out more about it, I found out that mentorship is the most important thing. And Aspen does offer that. So at that dinner, I learned a little more about it, and I was just like, okay, I'm intrigued. And as I progressed throughout my years in dental school, I've gotten to know more about Aspen. Second year, I got invited to Aspen Vibes in Atlanta. It was like the end of second year, I believe. I don't know. It's kind of all a whirlwind in my head. Yeah, and I really got to know Aspen, and at that point, I forgot how many offices they had, but right now they have over 800. I think at that point it was, my first year it was over 600, I believe, and they're just quickly expanding. And so I really like the model. Like when you first start, you'll be an associate dentist. So of course, you're training under your MCD, which is the lead dentist. And then you're training under your practice owner as well, which they call practice POP, which is the practice ownership program. So that would be the owner of the practice that you're working at. And usually the POP would own multiple offices. So you would have those two mentors above you. So I really like that model. So second year, third year, got closer working with Aspen. I was fundraising chair for the district. That was second year. And then third year, I just did a lot of outreach for my class in terms of Aspen, our school in general, but because I was a leader within ASDA at our school and in our district, I was able to have a lot of events sponsored by Aspen, and being able to link up students with getting exposed to their model, as well as just having events. I've hosted a panel as well with current dentists and within Aspen. I did it a couple times. So yeah, that was my exposure to Aspen. And I told, so Dave LaPointe, he's no longer within the company, but he was a huge influence of mine in terms of working for Aspen. I told him that I cannot work for Aspen if I can't work in Texas. My fiance is in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. So I told him, look, I have to be there or else I'm going to have to look into other opportunities. So a year out, so it was the end of my third year transitioning into my fourth year, he made it happen for me. He linked me up with a talent acquisition manager here down in this region, and he set me up with a regional manager. At that point, nothing in the DFW area opened up, so I had to go far out, like an hour and a half out to Sherman, Texas, to get interviewed. Of course, Aspen paid for all my accommodations. I mean, my fiance already lives here, but they paid for my travel, which is always great, especially as a student. You're like, oh, I'm poor, so anything helps. So yeah, I met with the regional manager. She interviewed me. A week later, I was offered. I got offered an offer letter, and it's only 3 to 4 pages. I was like, is this really it? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, is this what everyone's offer letter looks like? And they're like, yeah. I mean, of course, yours is very broad right now because there weren't any locations at that point. So, because I was a year out. So yeah, I went ahead and I signed it, and I got to an early start with Aspen because of that.
Good, good. So those listening, Aspen Dental is the largest branded DSO. And like Dr. Choi said, we have over 800 offices across the nation right now. We're in 43 states. Dr. Choi referenced a POP, and that's the Practice Ownership Program. So a POP is a practice owner, and all of our Aspen Dental practices are owned by an Aspen Dental dentist. So Dr. Choi, do you have ownership on your sites as a goal?
Yes, I do. It's great. Like I mean, I've only started working. My first day of work was August 4th, I believe. So I'm in my I've worked like almost 2 months now. But for my practice owner, I learned a lot, and it's just great having ADMI, which is Aspen Management, under your belt. You can focus on dentistry, especially coming out of dental school. You're worried about your speed, just being efficient with your time, and I mean, yeah, it's great to know, learn about insurance and financing, but when you're fresh out, you really need to focus on the clinical side. So as an associate, it's been nice to just focus on that. But then of course I'm interested in everything else. But it's great. Like if anything breaks, we don't really, well, I mean, we'll troubleshoot, but then we don't have to worry too much about it because we'll just call the support center and they'll figure it out for us.
Right.
But yes, I definitely want to be a practice owner. It's definitely in the cards.
So you have a new development to talk about. You joined us as an associate dentist, and what's your new
Yes.
development? Only what, like 7 weeks into the job?
Uh, so I got an exciting call from my practice owner today. So I've been training outside of my office. So the office that I'm currently at is I'm in Texarkana, but the original office I'm at is in Grand Prairie, which is dab smack in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth. It's a great area, new office. So of course, we're building our patient base up, and we don't have that high volume patient exposure because we're building that patient base up, but we're picking up really, really quickly. So she wanted me to go ahead and go to a high volume office. So this is one of the highest grossing offices in Texas, and there's a lot of offices here. So I've been here, this is my third week now, and he actually asked me to stay another 2 weeks because he's actually looking for another associate. So if anyone is interested in coming here, please reach out to me or Maggie because he's looking for another associate. So yes, I've been here and I've just been learning a lot. I've been here all day. Like I'm here for like 12 hours, 13 hours, but it's totally worth it. I'm getting exposed to molar endo. He does implants. He pretty much does everything, IV sedation. So it's really exciting. So anyways, I've been holding it in, but I got a phone call today from my practice owner, and she actually is opening up 4 more offices on top of the 2 she does have right now that are one's established. They opened that one back in February, and one we just opened a month and a half ago. She offered me the MCD, which is the lead position of her new office that's opening up in Burleson, which is in the DFW area as well. And that one's set to open in December. So of course I took it. So very exciting news today for me. I'm still
That's
trying to
great.
swallow it all in.
Yeah, congratulations. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
So we get a lot of questions, and a few people have posed it here. Mentorship, it's always at the forefront of everybody's mind and what that's going to look like. So can you talk about what your mentorship is looking like as you joined Aspen?
Yeah, my mentorship has been great. I mean, I know so many so the great thing about Aspen is there's so many other dentists and they have so much experience. They come from so many backgrounds, especially when you go to these ASDA Aspen mixers, and you meet these dentists, you really build a network, and it's, it's someone to reach out to later or even now, when you have any issues or if you want to get their advice, because they're very well seasoned, and you as a fresh dentist, you kind of question yourself a lot, and confidence is something you need to really build up on, and that will definitely come with time. I mean, I remember when I first started working, almost 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago, I was not super confident, especially because I haven't done dentistry in 5 months thanks to COVID. So I've been building that confidence up, and here at this office, I mean, it started at the Grand Prairie office, but here, especially because this doctor that I'm with right now, he leaves me by myself 2 days a week. He just threw me in there, and I had to manage the whole office those days, and it's kind of a scary thought. So, I mean, I'm actually, I do well when you throw me into things, but I know some people, they need some hand holding, and you have to voice your opinion and say, look, this is what I want. I need mentorship. And I told that to my practice owner, like, that's the most important thing to me. And she was like, okay, I'll offer that for you. I talked to her, just got to communicate. So when I first started off, she went through things with me in terms of extractions, just all procedures. And she made a program for me so that I do go outside of her office and not just have her, because I need more exposure. So now I have Dr. Nunez, who he's been practicing for 12 years now, and he's just phenomenal, and he does everything, and it's mind-boggling. And then my practice owner, she's graduated dental school back in 2018, so she's kind of fresh, but the thing is, she's been out working for 2 years, and the fact that she graduated like 2 years ago and is opening up 6 offices, that's crazy. But
Great.
yeah, but
Yeah.
she has gotten great mentorship and has gotten that, that motivation and that drive from her previous mentors to be able to take this on and build the confidence. So she's kind of passing that on to me. And then now I have Dr. Nunez under my belt. So it's just great. Like, I'm like loving every moment of it. And, my friends are like, oh my God, you're crazy. You're working so much. There's no work-life balance. But I'm like, look, I'm starting off. I need to soak in as much as I can. And at the end of the day, I am tired, but I'm still very energetic because I love what I'm doing. And that's just because Aspen has offered a great environment for me in terms of growing as a clinician.
Awesome. That's great. So I have a question. How, you talk about like communication and just voicing, you said, you use the word voicing. So
Yes.
talk to me about like transparency, and do you feel you have a voice and can use your voice at Aspen Dental?
Yes, for sure. I'm a very vocal person to begin with, and I know in terms of working for DSOs, there's a lot of like, some stigmas with DSOs, and they're like, oh, people are telling you how to, treatment plan and whatnot. No, you do it yourself, and if there's some issue, like, we've had some issues where our treatment plans don't align, or there's been some gray areas where we don't completely agree, but you elaborate that, and if you're not comfortable doing it, then you don't do it. But you definitely have to be able to speak up if you have a gut feeling that something's not right, or you think that whoever diagnosed the patient missaw something or overlooked it. You say it, and then they'll be like, oh my God, I didn't see that. So don't be afraid, and whenever you think something is wrong and your gut is telling you something's wrong, you have to speak up, whether it's to your dental assistants, to your office manager, to your practice owner, and just be transparent in that way. Just be honest, and they'll be honest with you as well.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Thanks. You said it very well. So you got an early start because of ASDA. You kind of had that early start of seeing a lot of not only Aspen, different DSOs, things like that. We have a question here. Where do I begin if I'm a fourth year interested in a career in Aspen? And we both can answer that. What would you tell this
Okay,
person?
I would be like, okay, well, first of all, is location a huge deal for you, or are you willing to go anywhere? I think that's the main question, and then that'll kind of divide you to what you want. Obviously, if you're not very heavily location based, that's great. You're gonna have a lot of open opportunities for you. If it's very location based, you need to get on it, especially in terms of like hotspot areas like Dallas, Fort Worth. That's why I looked a year in advance, actually a year and a half in advance. I would talk to a recruiter. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Maggie. There's also Joel as well. You just reach out to one of us, and then we'll set you up with the right people, the right tools, and then we'll get you to go shadow. You can shadow any office. I mean, obviously it's going to be different depending on the location, but I mean, it's all Aspen offices are similar in a way, because the branding and the marketing. But you just go shadow and kind of see what it's like, because that's what I did. I went to Peabody, Massachusetts, and of course, I didn't want to be in that area, but you just go and dip your feet in and see what it's like. And then if you like it, you can go ahead and move forward and work with the recruiter, and they'll help you get there. You just have to, like I said, vocalize what you want, your needs, and then they'll make it happen for you.
Mhm.
And get it's time. You got to be, it's like
Proactive.
yeah, you have to be very proactive. Like, you can't just be like, oh, they'll come to me. No, you gotta, like, if you want it, you gotta go out and you gotta voice your opinion and go get it.
Great, great job. I've talked to quite a few Tufts 21s this week, last week. I've been setting up shadows at offices in the Boston area. I am the academic recruiter for District 1. So I'm your point person. I'm going to guide you, point you in the right direction. And like, it's a motto here at Aspen, our goal is to get you to your goal. And I think Dr. Choi can just exemplify that, we want Dr. Choi to get to her goal, whatever that is. And if it's practice ownership, and if it's 4 practices in the next 2 years, we hope to get her there. I didn't mean to scare you, Dr. Choi.
I'm like, maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So good, good. So I have a question here. What do you feel was an obstacle with Aspen Dental? Was there anything that you felt held you back in joining Aspen, in working at?
um, in joining Aspen, um, knowing what I know, nothing. But before, like I said, with DSOs, they tell you a lot of things, especially when you're in school, and a lot of times your faculty members, they have their own private practices. So they'll say, oh, with treatment planning, like, you have no autonomy with it. Also, it's kind of you're kind of a slave. In the fact that you're tied down. Like, if you quit, you're gonna have to not be able to practice. So this is called a restrictive covenant, that you're not allowed to practice within a certain radius of that office. And they're just telling me all these things, and they kind of like brainwash you in a way to have all these negative connotations. So I say this with anyone, and with anything, not even just Aspen, with residency programs too. Just do your research and make sure it's the right fit for you. But in terms of Aspen, for me, I liked everything about it. The only thing I was a little weary about was the mentorship thing. But I mean, it worked out great for me. But yeah, it's a great company to work for. And I know, like, some other DSOs, like, they do have restrictive covenants. So just make sure, you read your contract in terms of any kind of offer you get.
I'm glad you said that, because and you use the word contract. We don't have a contract. We
Yeah,
have,
we have agreements.
I know, it's a letter of agreement. And so you're not bound to stay with us. And there's a few reasons for that. We want you to be happy. Obviously, that's going to translate to your career growth and your happiness at work. And we want to be happy, right? So I don't see many people leaving, but it's your choice. You can leave. You're not bound to stay at Aspen. And I know people that have thought, I've talked to dentists that thought that they were going to come to Aspen for a year, treat it as their GPR, and now they own 6 practices. They never thought that it was going to be a long-term commitment for themselves. So, everybody's decision is different. One thing I want to express is whether it's Aspen Dental, another DSO, a private practice, Dr. Choi can attest to this, that connection with your teammates is so instrumental in your growth and your happiness at work. Can you talk about that, Dr. Choi? Like how you're feeling about your team?
Yeah, so oh my God, I love my team in Grand Prairie, and then I love my team here in Texarkana. It's that's the only thing with me. I get really, really attached with people. So I think that's gonna be the thing that's gonna bug me when like I leave here. So I'm staying here for an extra couple of weeks, and I mean, I love the people here. I wish I could just take everyone with me. But yeah, you have your office manager, your treatment plan coordinator, who's like your assistant office manager, your front desk person, which is the patient resource manager. Wait, is it PSR, patient service representative?
Mm-hmm.
And you have your DAs and your lead DA. But yeah, like they're just all great. You want to have your huddles in the morning, just get everyone pumped up on a positive note. And all of, obviously recognition is very important. And we have things like this week, it's DA Appreciation Week. So we've been showing appreciation for our dental assistants because I mean, dude, they do so much for you guys, like for the whole office. They always have to think like 3 steps ahead of you. And you really have to appreciate them and show them that like they're so important and instrumental for the whole team to work, and obviously like there's that saying, there's no I in team. There isn't. But yeah, it's been great, and I love everyone. Like I haven't met anyone that I don't like so far at these offices. It's everyone is uplifting, and I think that's what really makes a successful team. You don't want anyone who's always negative and like bringing you down. You want people who lift you up and lift your spirits up and keep you in line every day to do what you do every day.
Yeah, that's great. So I have a question here. What cases do associate dentists see? So tell us about what you're seeing.
What I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. Patient-wise, what you're
Okay,
treating.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. It kind of broke up a little bit. So I'm seeing an assortment of patients. So I've been really focusing for myself on full mouth extractions, just getting really, really efficient at them. When I first got back from not doing dentistry for 5 months, I felt pretty confident with extractions, but it takes some time to build back that confidence that you once had, and you go really slow. So just being efficient with my timing. I'm doing full mouth extractions. I'm doing endo for anterior teeth. The mentor that I have here, he told me that I will be doing molar endo. He goes, "You're gonna do some molar endo before you leave," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm scared." But I'm gonna do it. I'll do it, and we'll see. Cause he was like, "You need to do it. If you want to be a practice owner, and you wanna bring that income in, you got to do your own endo instead of referring out." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." So I'm working on that. And a lot of surgical extractions, of course, a lot of denture cases, a lot of partials, as well as full dentures as well. And then obviously I don't know how to place implants, but our practice owner, my actual practice owner, she is sending me to Puerto Rico next year in November, along with her and 2 other associates to learn how to place implants. We were going to do it this year, but because of COVID, we can't go do that. And then obviously you're going to do fillings. It's like a very standard, and it's also treatment planning. Treatment planning is very important. You're going to realize that you're going to have to think quick on your feet, especially when a patient comes in and then you have other patients waiting for you, the new patient exams. At first, it's going to be a little difficult, but the more and more you do it, you'll kind of figure it out, like what works best for you. And then obviously you have your other dentists at the office. So if you feel like something's questionable, you go ask them, and that's completely okay. Just tell the patient, look, I'm gonna step out for a second. I just need to get a second opinion. But treatment planning, I think, is something I've been working on since day one that I started, and I feel very, very confident in that. And of course, now I just want to work on placing implants and working on molar endo, and then everything else I feel pretty good with. But yeah, mostly pros cases and then fillings and endo for me.
Great. Oh, that's great. Good. So we have a few people that have joined a little late. I just want to tell everybody there is a Q&A box at the bottom of the screen if you want to pose a question. And we're raffling off a $75 Amazon gift card at the end of the webinar. So stay tuned because Dr. Troy will be drawing a name. So exciting. Dr. Troy will say, you're all poor right now. So we have a few other questions coming in. I heard there's student loan reimbursement. Did you participate in student loan reimbursement through Aspen Dental?
No, I did not. So usually with student loan reimbursement, that's in areas that need access to oral health care. So I have a friend who works for Aspen in Iowa, and that's an area that needs a lot of dentists. So you would have to go in an area that that doesn't have many dental offices. So it would usually be in Aspen, that's in a secluded area. But he gets 20,000 20,000 per it's 2 years. He gets 20,000, and if he stays a third year, I believe they give him like 30,000. I'm not sure about that, but I know the 2-year mark, it's 20,000. But it's great. He just got his first paycheck the other day, and he's like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
But yeah, they do have that, and you should definitely talk to Maggie about it, or talk to one of the recruiters that you're talking with to see if you can find an area that offers that.
Yeah, and so it's up to 250,000, and it all depends on the area and the need. So, it's definitely a conversation to start with myself or a recruiter that you're working with already, just to get the wheels turning on where those locations offer it, and start the conversations early. There could be an office we have sites on that is going into a remote area, in 2021, that's going to fit that need for you, if you're listening and that's something you're interested in. Like Dr. Troy said, if you're not specific location based and you have the opportunity to broaden, the areas where you'd like to be, there's definitely more opportunity for you. New patients. We are really great at seeing a lot of new patients every day. We have an incredible marketing team that supports all the practices, and we have a call center in Phoenix, Arizona that takes new patient calls. So what are you experiencing, Dr. Troy, as far as new patient counts on average per day, say at the office where you are now and the office you were at a few weeks ago?
This office, oh my goodness, I would say we get about 14 new patients a day here.
14?
And yeah, 14, 15. We get a lot, and they all show up.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, I'll be doing new patient exams left to right, and then I would go do production. I'll go numb a patient, then come back in and do one. So that's how I got good at treatment planning, because you see those new patients, and you know, they all have different, oral health care issues that need to be addressed. So it really gets you to think, and the more you do, you get quicker at them. And then of course you need to ask them, like, do you want something that's removable or something that's fixed? Like, get what they want. You kind of have to take into account what they want. You can't just willy-nilly give them like I mean, obviously you have to give them what you think is the best, but also take into the fact what they want. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
at this office, oh, sorry.
no, if you're in contact with any 2021s, I'm hearing from them that, like with clinic, they're seeing like 2 to 3 patients a week right now because of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough time. I mean, I know with COVID going on, everyone feels like they're being cheated out of their education. But I think this is a great time, especially if you're not in clinic, to go shadow or go work at a dental office. I think that'll expose you to more, and I'm sure whoever the dentist there is, they'll allow you to do a little more than shadowing.
Mhm.
So you got to be optimistic.
Yeah, great advice. Yeah, that's great. So, when you go back to the office that you're returning to, where is the location you're going to be in MCD?
So all of my practice owners' offices, they're all in the DFW area.
Okay.
So the office that I'm in right now in Grand Prairie, it's right in the middle of Fort Worth and Dallas. It's a little closer to Dallas. Burleson is a little it's south of Fort Worth, but it's in the DFW area. So I would say it takes me 30 minutes from Fort Worth, where I live, to go to Grand Prairie, and then it would take me 30 minutes from Fort Worth to go to Burleson. So same amount of time. And I forgot to tell you or mention earlier, for Grand Prairie, our new patients, it's very sporadic since it is a new office. Some days we'll have our good days, and we'll have about, I want to say, like 8, 9, which is really good. But sometimes they don't show up, and then you get a little discouraged, but it's okay. The thing about new patients is a lot of times they're in pain. So the great thing about Aspen is we have that call center, and we can see them right away. And a lot of times, if they can't be seen right away, they'll go ahead and call another office that can see them right away, because they want that pain addressed. Because like most of us who's had a toothache before, if you have a toothache, you want to get that relieved as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. So we have a denture lab in all of our offices. Can you talk to us about the denture lab and the denture lab tech that you've been exposed to in your
Yeah,
offices?
yeah, of course. So your lab tech is going to be your best friend. um So they do everything. So the way that it works here, it's a little different from school, because obviously you're not going to set your own teeth. The lab tech's going to do it for you. So the very first thing you would do in terms of dentures is you would go ahead and take impressions, and then you would do a wax bite just to see how their bite comes together. And then you would talk with your lab tech, and be like, this is where I mark the midline, this is where their smile line is. And you just have to be able to communicate with them on terms of how to set the teeth, and how you every dentist is different, so you have to tell them how you work. And then they'll go ahead and set the teeth for you, and the patient will come in the next appointment. And this happens pretty fast. In Grand Prairie, we can do multiple appointments in one day because we're not too busy. But here in Texarkana, our lab tech is backed up, so it's still pretty quick, but obviously it's going to take a few more days. And then they would try in their teeth, and once they're 100% happy, we'll go ahead and process it, and that's all done within the lab, which is great. And that's why we have such a fast turnaround rate in terms of getting those dentures out there for our patients.
Hmm. Yeah, I hear a lot about, denture delivery day and how exciting that is if people are coming back to receive their dentures. Have you been a part
Yeah.
of that yet?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I've been a part of it a few times. Actually, there's a whole case I've been doing here. She's actually going to get her permanent dentures tomorrow. This lady, she's about, how old is she? She's 72. She said she had her current denture since she was 19 years old. 19 years old. And if you look at her dentures, they are so worn down. There's some teeth nicked off. Poor thing. And I'm just like, wow, you worn those for so long. So she's really excited to get them. And she came in for her new patient exam like last week, you know? So we've been rolling it out for her. But yeah, she did her try-in today and she loved it. And yeah, we'll deliver it tomorrow. And then we had another patient today that I did extractions on, and he only had 3 teeth. So after we got that extracted, we put his immediates in, and he looked amazing. And when he looked at himself, you can tell, like, he was, I mean, he was sore. I mean, it was only 3 teeth, but still it's traumatic. It was in the mandible. So you can tell, just he looks so overjoyed, even though he was in pain, which I gave him pain meds for, so he'll be fine. But yeah, it's just great to see, like, just the transformation that they go through, physically as well as mentally, because it is a confidence booster, you know, not having teeth to having like a wonderful smile again that they used to have when they were younger. And I know it's better these days because people are wearing a mask, but still, it's how they feel, you know?
True, very true. So I have a couple questions here. Let me just get to this. So with COVID, how is your office operating, and do you feel comfortable with the PPE that you're provided?
Oh, yes, we have a lot of PPE. We have a lot of masks. We have an assortment of masks. As a matter of fact, they're all N95, and then of course we have the level 3 masks as well. Yeah, there's a lot, and we have our yellow gowns, which I don't wear the yellow gown because I have like my own little gown that I wear. But we have everything, and in terms of the patient flow, it's at full capacity now here in Texas. So patients are coming in, and we are still socially distancing. We have signs in certain seats, like every other seat, to distance people, but we have plenty of PPE and it's not an issue. And of course, if we didn't, we wouldn't be operating, you know?
Mhm. So how many operatories does the office have that you're in currently?
We have 7.
All right. Wow, that's good. Yeah, it's usually right around, I always like to tell people 6 to 8, so you hit it right on the head. And the
Mm-hmm.
hours, I get asked this question all the time when I'm talking to dental students. How many days a week is the office open where you are? And how many days a week are you working?
So this office is actually open every Saturday. But because Dr. Nunez is missing an associate right now, he has decided to open, I believe, 1 Saturday a month, and I work that Saturday, and I actually work 6 days straight. And he told me, he was like, if you're not comfortable, I can, because I work by myself that day. He's like, if you're not comfortable, we can go ahead and cancel all the patients for that day, and you know, you can just work 5 days this week. But I was like, no, don't do that. I don't want you to cancel their appointments. So I went ahead and worked 6 days straight, and I was pooped, but it was a great week. But most of the times it's 5 days a week. And when I was in Grand Prairie, that office, we were opening every other Saturday, but now we've decided to open every Saturday just until we build our patient base up. Because, you know, those people who are working 9 to 5 jobs, you know, they don't have time to come in during the week. Even if we have our extended hours, they're tired. When they go home, they want to go eat, they want to take care of their kids. So a Saturday is a great day to stay open, and all those appointments that are made, they show up. It's rarely an occasion where no one shows up for their Saturday appointment. Everyone on the appointment list shows up for the day.
Let's talk about that day. You were all alone. He left you alone on a Saturday. How'd it go?
It went well. So that wasn't my first day alone. My first day alone was Wednesday, and that was a little tough because it was from 7:30 to 5:30. It was a full day versus Saturday. It was lighter. It was from 8 to 1, and it was a lot of new patient exams. And then we just had some wax bites and some try-ins in terms of dentures. And then I had like 4 fillings on one patient, and that was it. So it wasn't too bad. Um, I feel like it went pretty smoothly, especially because I was able to work Wednesday and I was able to work on Friday, where I did have a more fuller schedule and I had to constantly go from room to room because we have our production room, we have our new patient room, then we have our overflow room. So you want to constantly keep that balance and making sure that no patient is staying there too long, but then also giving special attention to the new patients because, you know, it's their first time there. So you want to make their experience great.
Right. Yeah, and it's all about patient care. So are you ever told to complete a certain amount of procedures per month? Do you have a quota?
I do not have a quota.
Yeah, so your treatment planning is your treatment planning. Um, Patient care is number one across the board.
Yes.
Do you believe that, you know, I can tell people that as a recruiter, but now that you're within the Aspen family and a practicing dentist, do you find that to be true?
Yes, I believe so. It's
Okay.
patient. I mean, every day when we have, I mean, not every day. We don't have our huddle every day, but we have it every other day. We have a great like office manager here. She used to be regional manager, and then she's like one step above an office manager. I forgot what her exact title was, but she gives a great huddle, and it's always about patient care. You know, the patient, you know, we want to make their experience even before from coming to the office with the welcome call to all the way to coming into our office and then leaving with being able to call them to see how they were doing. We want their experience to be great, and you have to always put your patient as number one priority. And I mean, in school they teach you that, you know, we have an ethics committee and we have an ethics class, so I really do believe that patient care is number one and a priority for Aspen.
Good. Yeah, I'm a Aspen patient even before I joined Aspen, even before I joined the Aspen family. So I've been a patient
Wow,
for
I didn't
10.
know that.
Yeah, I've been a patient for 10 years and I was at a private practice in a small town. And my whole experience with Aspen has been great. I am a huge fan because it's just a happy place and I like to go.
Yes.
The other thing that maybe some people don't think about is with the changing landscape with insurances, there's companies that are switching their insurance for their employees almost on an annual basis. And so for me, with any job I had, I could always count on Aspen Dental to take my insurance. I never had to go find a new dentist because we take almost every insurance, right? So
Yeah, that's so
it,
amazing.
it
Mm-hmm.
just makes it easier when you're, you know, a patient of Aspen and your life is going through changes with insurances, but you can count on your dentist. So that's one huge selling factor for me as a patient with Aspen Dental. And that being said, we have the ability for people that don't have insurance or, you know, they're in a situation where they need help to maybe pay for their dentures. We have financing, third-party financing to help them through that. So, and that just aligns with patient care. We need them to be able to get the patient care that they need. So we have ways to help them pay for it through third-party financing if there's a procedure that their insurance doesn't take. I have a question here that aligns with that. Do you take Medicaid or Medicare?
We do not.
Do you know why we do not?
I actually don't. No one told me.
Okay, well, I can tell you. So,
Okay, yes.
yes, so Medicaid and Medicare do not, they will not cover basic patient care. So there's a lot of things they're not going to cover. So we don't participate because it's frustrating to a customer to come in and not be able to have their insurance, Medicaid or Medicare, cover their procedures. So we can help them through that with a third-party financing. But there's also, they just don't reimburse the whether it's private practice or another DSO, they don't reimburse well as well. So from a business standpoint, it's not smart. And patient care is not the objective with that insurance. So we have chosen not to take Medicaid. So that is why. And you
Oh,
may
wow,
get,
I did not know that. Thanks, Maggie.
yeah, you may get that question as a dentist. Someone might ask you.
Yeah.
So
To
do
know.
we have any more questions?
Keep them
Everyone's
coming, guys.
quiet. Yeah. Well, we're so excited that everybody joined us tonight. Dr. Choi, do you have any closing statements before we choose our raffle winner?
I would like to say thank you, Maggie, for hosting this.
You're welcome.
I love how festive you are. Also, in terms of, I know a lot of you guys are worried about just your clinical experience in general with this pandemic happening, but just have faith that everything's going to work out. And I know schools are obviously going to have to modify requirements, but whatever you decide to do, whether it's Aspen, another DSO, a residency program, just make sure, like I mentioned before, do your research. Talk to a lot of people, talk to the people that are within those programs, within that organization. See if that's something that you can commit yourself to, because that's your license on the line. And make sure it's a good fit for you. And then in terms of anything else, especially if it's Aspen related or just anything in general, you guys can always reach out to me. I'll go ahead and put my email address, or actually I'll put my phone number. Y'all can text me. It's cool. In the chat box. So feel free to reach out to me. And thank you so much for attending tonight. I know the debate is very soon. So thanks for tuning in.
Great. I have a question here I'm going to get to offline. So, Dr. Choi, could you choose a number? We're doing the raffle. $75
Oh, okay.
gift card. Ready? I need you to choose a number between 1 and 20. That's how many participants we have.
Oh, okay. I would say let's go with 15.
All right, Vanessa Diaz, you have won the Amazon raffle.
I know Vanessa too.
I'm gonna send
Congrats,
you an email.
Vanessa.
She's excited. I'm gonna send you an email.
Yay, girl, go Pam.
I'll send you an email with your Amazon gift card link. So congratulations. Those of you that have joined us, we really appreciate it. And everybody reach out. I will respond to all of you with an email, and I will include Dr. Choi's contact information. So if you want to reach out to her, feel free to. So great. Everybody have a great night. Thanks. Thanks, doctor.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Thank you, Maggie. Bye. And
You're
I put my
welcome.
number in the chat. Bye.
Thanks,
Good
doctor.
night.
Bye-bye.